Yo, the streets are talking. Whispers turning into screams. Pooh, Shiesty, and NBA YoungBoy. The tension's at its peak. From the first shot fired on social media to the latest threats hitting the block, this isn't just another rap beef. It's a full-blown war of reputation, respect, and street loyalty. Fans are watching, allies are picking sides, and every move is being dissected like chess on the concrete. No Cap just stepped into the spotlight, breaking his silence after YoungBoy's latest warning, adding fuel to an already explosive fire. Every clip, every post, every subtle diss is being replayed, analyzed, and shared. As the streets and the internet hold their collective breath, it's more than music. It's about pride, legacy, and survival in the rap game's most dangerous arenas. Who will crack first? Who's bluffing, and who's ready to ride till the end? Every reaction, every comment from peers and haters alike adds layers to this saga. The energy is raw, the tension palpable, and the stakes sky high. It's a story of loyalty tested, respect challenged, and egos colliding. So buckle up, because the Pooh Shiesty vs NBA YoungBoy saga is entering its most dangerous stage yet. Streets are on edge. The rap world is buzzing, and you don't want to blink, because every second counts in this explosive showdown. The tension had been simmering for weeks, but now it was boiling over. What started as subtle shots on social media, cryptic posts, and side-eye comments had escalated into a full-blown showdown between Pooh Shiesty and NBA YoungBoy. The streets were talking, online forums were buzzing, and fans were glued to every move both artists made. This wasn't just another rap beef, it was about pride, respect, and legacy, and both camps knew the stakes were sky-dash high. It began subtly, with fans noticing subtle jabs in interviews and videos. YoungBoy had been dropping lines that many interpreted as indirect shots at Pooh Shiesty, while Pooh Shiesty responded with subtle references to loyalty and street credibility. But what turned the whispers into a roar were the posts on Instagram and Twitter. Clips showing YoungBoy's crew flexing their influence circulated rapidly, while Pooh Shiesty fired back with snippets from studio sessions and behind-the-scenes moments, hinting at his growing power and readiness to defend his name. Social media became a battlefield, with every post analyzed, screenshotted, and debated by fans and commentators alike. No Cap's involvement added another explosive layer. After YoungBoy's latest threat, No Cap stepped in to speak his truth, addressing the tension directly. His comments were measured but cutting, acknowledging the seriousness of the situation while subtly defending his allies. Every word he said fueled speculation and intensified the narrative. Analysts on podcasts dissected every nuance, while fans debated who was gaining the upper hand. Some argued that YoungBoy's influence was unmatched, while others claimed Pooh Shiesty's resilience and street credibility made him a formidable opponent. The tension wasn't just online. Rumors circulated that both camps were planning to make appearances in cities where their rivals had strong followings. Fans shared eyewitness accounts, videos of crews in the streets, and reactions to public appearances. The media framed it as a high-stakes chess game. Every move calculated, every gesture observed. It wasn't just about music anymore. It was about dominance, reputation, and the perception of power. Within the rap community, reactions were pouring in. Peers, collaborators, and influencers all weighed in, offering support, warnings, or speculation. Some praised YoungBoy for his assertiveness, while others lauded Pooh Shiesty's fearless approach to defending his name. Each statement added fuel to the fire, turning the beef into a cultural conversation about loyalty, respect, and the unspoken rules of the streets. Analysts compared it to past legendary feuds, dissecting tactics, alliances, and potential outcomes. The energy was electric. Every social media post became a headline, every subtle diss, a news story. Fans began picking sides, hashtags trended, and memes flooded the internet. The narrative was no longer contained to the artists. It had grown into a full-blown movement, with the audience actively participating in the drama. Comments sections erupted with speculation, predictions, and strong opinions. As fans dissected every detail and tried to anticipate the next move, studio sessions became a focal point. Both artists were reportedly working on tracks specifically addressing the tension. Rumors of diss records leaked online, creating waves of anticipation. Every line, every bar, every verse was analyzed for hidden meanings, subliminals, and potential shots at the rival. Music blogs and fan channels dedicated entire segments to decoding lyrics, comparing flows, and interpreting intentions. This beef was shaping up to be one of the most intense in recent memory, and the streets were ready to watch it unfold in real time. The psychological warfare was just as intense as the physical posturing. Both camps used social media to project strength, challenge credibility, and unsettle the other side. Stories of loyalty tests, private meetings, and strategic moves circulated, adding layers to the drama. Fans speculated about alliances, possible collaborations, and betrayals within each camp. The intensity of the beef made every action significant, and both artists were aware that one wrong move could shift public perception dramatically. Behind the scenes, industry insiders hinted at deeper layers to the conflict. Sources suggested that past disputes, business dealings, and personal grudges were all influencing the current tension. Music executives, managers, and collaborators were strategizing, knowing that the beef could impact careers, streaming numbers, and public image. The business side of the game was intertwined with street credibility, creating a high-stakes environment where every move mattered. As the beef escalated, the fan reaction became more intense. Online communities analyzed every story, live-streamed reactions to posts, and debated the legitimacy of each claim. Some fans expressed concern about safety and escalation, while others were thrilled by the drama, treating it like a real-life rap saga unfolding before their eyes. Memes, reaction videos, and fan edits flooded platforms, amplifying the narrative and increasing engagement. The online ecosystem turned into a feedback loop. Each reaction generated more content, which in turn fueled further discussion and anticipation. The media coverage intensified. Hip-hop blogs, podcasts, and entertainment channels ran continuous updates, dissecting every move, statement, and video. The story transcended simple artist rivalry. It became a cultural conversation about influence, loyalty, and the power dynamics in modern rap. Experts compared the beef to historic feuds, analyzed the social implications, and speculated on how it might shape the careers of both artists. Both Pooh Shiesty and NBA YoungBoy were conscious of their public image. Every interview, post, and appearance was carefully calculated to maintain credibility and assert dominance. They knew the importance of perception in the streets and online, and their teams worked tirelessly to craft messages, release visuals, and strategize responses. This was a war fought as much with media and influence as it was with bars and presence. The story is far from over. The tension, anticipation, and high-stakes promise that the saga is only escalating. Fans are ready for the next chapter, eager to see which artists will gain the upper hand, which alliances will shift, and how the drama will unfold in both music and the streets. The Pooh Shiesty vs. NBA YoungBoy beef has entered a phase where every action counts, every word matters, and the audience is watching closer than ever. The tension that had been simmering was now reaching a boiling point. The streets were no longer just whispering. They were shouting, debating, and speculating on every move from Pooh Shiesty and NBA YoungBoy. The anticipation had reached a fever pitch as both camps appeared more determined than ever to assert dominance. It wasn't just about social media posts or subliminal shots. Anymore, it was about presence, influence, and making a statement that couldn't be ignored. Rumors of public appearances in cities, tied to each artist's fanbase, were spreading like wildfire. Fans claimed to have spotted crews moving through neighborhoods, capturing moments that could be interpreted as power plays or subtle warnings. Every video clip posted online was scrutinized. Who was with whom? Who was absent? What subtle gestures were exchanged? The smallest actions took on massive significance, amplifying tension and keeping the audience hooked. No Cap continued to influence the narrative. His statements were dissected line by line, with fans interpreting double meanings and allegiances. Some viewed his involvement as a peacekeeping effort, while others saw it as adding more fuel to an already explosive situation. The balance of power was shifting, alliances were forming, and the streets were keenly aware of how every action could tip the scales. Analysts compared this scenario to previous legendary feuds, noting that the intensity and real-world stakes. The beef also drew the attention of industry insiders. Managers, producers, and collaborators weighed in, some publicly, some behind the scenes, adding layers of intrigue. Record labels were monitoring the situation closely, aware that how this feud unfolded could have major implications for streaming numbers, tour dynamics, and overall public perception. Social media posts, interviews, and visual content were all carefully timed and analyzed to maintain leverage and control over the narrative. Street credibility and fan loyalty played a central role. Both artists relied on their core supporters to amplify messages, spread videos, and assert dominance in their respective territories. Fans began engaging in debates online and offline, choosing sides and sometimes clashing over opinions. The digital ecosystem mirrored the streets, heated, competitive, and deeply invested. Every comment, like, and share became a metric of influence and power, creating a feedback loop that intensified the rivalry. The media spotlight couldn't be ignored either. Hip-hop blogs, YouTube commentators, and podcasts were dissecting every move. Panel discussions, live-stream reactions, and expert analysis flooded platforms. Opinions varied. Some saw YoungBoy as the dominant force. Others celebrated Pooh Shiesty's resilience and raw energy. The narrative was no longer controlled solely by the artists. It had grown into a full-blown cultural conversation about respect, influence, and dominance in the rap game. Amid the tension, subtle moves were made to assert dominance. Appearances at events, collaborations hinted at online, and strategically timed posts all contributed to the ongoing chess match. Each side wanted to showcase power without overstepping, maintaining credibility while signaling they weren't backing down. The psychological element of the beef was just as important as the musical or social media aspect, and both artists understood that perception often outweighed reality. Every fan interaction added fuel. Comments sections exploded with hot takes, predictions, and debates. Fans shared theories about potential collaborations, betrayals, or strategic alliances. Some even speculated about the possibility of physical confrontations, heightening the sense of danger and urgency. Memes, reaction videos, and fan edits further amplified the story, ensuring it stayed trending and relevant across multiple platforms. This stage of the beef highlighted the complexity of modern rap conflicts. It wasn't just about bars or diss tracks, it was about influence, timing, strategy, and engagement. Each move was scrutinized, each reaction magnified, and both artists navigated a minefield where one misstep could cost reputation, credibility, or fan loyalty. The stakes were higher than ever, and the narrative was evolving at a rapid pace. The tension was palpable. Fans were glued to social media, analysts were speculating on the next moves, and the streets were buzzing with anticipation. The narrative was no longer contained, it had grown into a full-blown phenomenon, with stakes reaching beyond music and spilling into culture, influence, and personal pride. The next stage promised to escalate further, and everyone was waiting to see who would make the next bold move. The story wasn't over, it was intensifying. Loyalties were tested, alliances questioned, and both Pooh Shiesty and NBA YoungBoy remained vigilant, knowing that the world was watching, every word and action dissected and debated. The streets were on edge, the fans were hyped, and the rap world was bracing for the next explosive chapter in this legendary beef saga. The beef had reached a new level. No longer just whispers, social media posts, or subliminal shots. It was full-blown chaos. Every move by Pooh Shiesty or NBA YoungBoy was now under a microscope. Fans, peers, and industry insiders were watching every post, every video, and every statement, dissecting it for hidden meanings. Streets and online communities were buzzing with speculation, theories, and predictions, as if the entire rap world was holding its breath for what was coming next. The escalation was relentless. Both camps were reportedly coordinating appearances in key cities, sending subtle warnings and showing influence without directly confronting each other. Rumors of behind-the-scenes strategy meetings surfaced, adding a sense of urgency and intensity. Every move was calculated, every gesture, every post, every lyric carefully crafted to assert dominance and maintain street credibility. Nothing was accidental. It was a game of chess played on the stage of fame, respect, and influence. Music remained the primary battlefield. Both artists were dropping tracks that fans claimed contained subliminal messages and coded bars aimed at one another. Leaked snippets, studio footage, and behind-the-scenes content were analyzed endlessly, with fans and commentators breaking down each line for hidden meanings. Diss tracks weren't just music, they were statements of power, tests of loyalty, and declarations of intent. Each verse added layers to the story, making it clear that neither artist was backing down. No Cap's involvement continued to influence the narrative. His commentary, whether subtle or direct, became a lens through which fans interpreted the ongoing feud. Opinions varied, with some seeing him as a peacemaker, while others felt he was escalating tension by amplifying both sides' actions. The ripple effect of his statements was significant, influencing fan sentiment and shaping the direction of the beef in real time. The psychological warfare was intense. Both camps used social media to project strength, challenge credibility, and unsettle the other side. Every post was scrutinized, every story interpreted as a power move. Fans speculated about alliances, potential betrayals, and the motivations behind each public action. The stakes were higher than ever. One misstep could shift public perception, undermine credibility, or tilt the balance of power. Street credibility and fan loyalty remained central. Supporters of each artist flooded social media with posts defending their favorite, sharing videos, memes, and reactions that amplified the tension. The digital world mirrored the streets, heated, competitive, and deeply invested. Every reaction fueled more content, more debate, and more anticipation. The cycle was relentless, keeping both artists at the center of attention. Industry insiders also played a critical role. Managers, producers, and collaborators were aware of how this beef could impact careers, streaming numbers, and public perception. Strategic moves were calculated to maintain influence, maximize attention, and control the narrative. The business of rap was intertwined with street credibility, creating a high-stakes environment where every word and action mattered. Media coverage intensified further. Blogs, podcasts, and YouTube channels ran constant updates analyzing every move and statement. Panel discussions dissected strategy, lyrical content, and possible outcomes. While fans engaged in debates about who had the upper hand, comparisons to historic rap feuds circulated, with analysts emphasizing that the intensity and real-world stakes made this beef one of the most significant in recent memory. The conflict wasn't just virtual, it had real-world consequences. Both artists were conscious of how appearances in different cities could be interpreted, how their crews interacted in public, and how every move reflected on their reputation. Alliances were tested, trust was questioned, and the tension created an atmosphere where anticipation and uncertainty ruled. The final stage was a mix of music, strategy, and influence. Each side leveraged every resource: social media, streaming, fan engagement, and public appearances to assert dominance. Diss tracks became statements of power, visuals became messages of intent, and every subtle move had meaning. The audience was fully invested, watching the saga unfold in real time, analyzing every nuance, and reacting passionately to each development. As the beef reached its peak, the stakes had never been higher. Loyalties were tested, reputations were on the line, and the entire rap community was witnessing an unforgettable clash of influence, street credibility, and lyrical power. Fans continued to speculate about alliances, strategies, and who would emerge victorious. The intensity of the rivalry created a cultural moment that transcended music, becoming a story of pride, respect, and survival in the modern rap game. By the end of this chapter, it was clear Pooh Shiesty versus NBA YoungBoy was more than a beef, it was a saga. Every post, every track, every statement contributed to a narrative that captured the attention of the streets, fans, and industry alike. The world was watching closely, and the outcome would shape careers, reputations, and the very nature of loyalty in the rap community. This final act wasn't about closure, it was about escalation, influence, and legacy. The story had reached its climax, leaving fans, analysts, and peers eager for the next move, ready to witness history in the making. And hit that notification bell. We're breaking down every move, every subliminal shot, every threat, and every reaction live, straight from the heart of the streets. Now, we want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who's really winning this war? Pooh Shiesty's energy, NBA YoungBoy's fire, or is it anyone else lurking in the shadows ready to step in? Debate it. Defend your side and rep your city. Let's see who really holds the streets. Share this video with your crew, your block, your fam, anyone who lives for the chaos, the bars, and the real-life stakes of hip-hop beefs. Stay locked, because the next move could ignite the streets like never before. Clips, reactions, leaks, and shocking reveals are coming fast, and you don't want to miss a single moment. This isn't just music, this is respect, reputation, and street loyalty on the line. Hit like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join the conversation now. The streets are watching, and it's your time to prove where you stand in the ultimate Pooh Shiesty versus NBA YoungBoy showdown.